One piece of advice I'd give every athlete is as you're going through your athletic career, you're going to meet a lot of different people along the way. Those people have a real value to what they're going to provide you, but you also can use the value they have beyond the field of competition, whether that's a coach, an administrator, a volunteer, someone from your community club, someone that's just come up to you and said hi. Those individuals have seen you compete. They've seen the dedication, the passion with which you have put on the field or on the ice or on the court. So try and think of those people that you've met along the way that might open up those doors for you, that might provide you with some of those opportunities. And then how do you take advantage of it? Volunteer for one little thing for a couple hours. That will open a number of different doors. A lot of athletes forget you have a lot of value as an athlete because you do compete. You do represent your club. You do represent your college. You represent your province, and you represent your country. And those provide different opportunities, and people see that as a value. So take advantage of those. And once your athletic career is complete, or you've decided you're going to step away from competing as an athlete, you certainly take advantage of those contacts that you've made and start by contributing back to the sport that gave to you for so many years, whether, again, it's a volunteer, administrative capacity. There's no set leadership title. Leadership is a responsibility that you take on as an athlete, and it happens at various levels, whether it's just that 2-hour shift that you volunteer at a tournament, or whether it's actually running the whole event, or whether it's becoming an administrator in a professional career, or whether you go into some other career pathway and you take on some other leadership role. But I think what I'm saying there is that you've created a network of people. Take advantage of that network of people because they've seen what you can do. It's an opportunity now for you to try and take advantage of what they may have to offer you.
What I would suggest for athletes coming up through the system and, starting their careers or wherever their career is at this point in time is to maybe figure out who is their athlete rep, or if they have an athlete rep. And if there isn't, who's on the board of directors for whatever organization is affecting them. So if you're with the Canada Snowboard, who is that board of directors? Is there an athlete rep that you could talk to and get to know and find out what kind of things they deal with, what kind of issues and concerns they look after? If that doesn't really cover what you're looking for, there are provincial groups such as the BC Athlete Voice, different groups like that. You can get involved, talk to people, see where opportunities are to come out and meet other athletes, see who they are, find out different things, because there are so many athlete leaders out there, and getting to know them and see what they do for their own sport and see what the other sports are getting or don't have, puts everything in perspective and makes it feel that you're part of a family, you're part of the Canadian sport family. And there are lots of people with lots of ideas, lots of opportunities for growth and for sharing your ideas and learning from those other people.
A lot of, there's a ton of different opportunities for athletes to become engaged. Yeah. And be it during practices, during warm-ups, and I think, like you said, most importantly, is creating an environment for that coach and athlete where that athlete does have that leadership role within the club or the team, and you've been able to identify them, and you can sort of use them as that conduit to between yourself and the rest of the teammates, so that having that buy-in, having that leadership role within your club makes a big difference in terms of how well those athletes will perform for you as well. And I guess sometimes I wonder if it's nice to have that. It's nice to have that one person. It'd be nice if all of them were like that as well. Creating that environment, they all want to be a leader, even though they all can't be, but providing an environment that they all feel comfortable enough that they can come to you without having to necessarily go through a leader on the team, but certainly being able to create an environment where there is one or two leaders that can lead that team and take your message to them through them.
It just took a leap of faith a little bit. It took looking outside of what I found as an athlete. Volunteering kind of is it doesn't exactly coincide all the time, because you're so internally focused on what you need to do to be better. You need to perform. Everything is just me, 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 me. So as an athlete, it was a bit different to start to think, well, maybe there's more than just myself out there. So for me, it was a bit of a leap of faith going, well, I've heard it's good, and I'm going to give it a try. And it started, I just started helping with Right to Play Club at UBC. And it just kind of fit some of my principles with Right to Play, with play, sport, that I could easily be united with. And then that kind of grew into kind of getting the feelings of helping and what that felt inside for me. And then it grew into doing more and more. So it started with a small step, and then you usually do more of things that you get that good feeling inside, and then it just grows.
In terms of like creating, I guess, a program or an opportunity within a sport, I mean, whether you're dealing with at the club level or provincial sport or national sport, I think as long as you're driven and you have a good idea that you've bounced off people, sometimes you got to just drive it and be the ball, you know. And I think without that kind of passion, it doesn't happen. And there's so many opportunities that come and go because someone comes up with a great idea, and I would say, oh, that's a great idea. Okay, what are you going to do to make it happen? I can't make it happen. You need to make it happen. And then there's a lot of people out there that are unstoppable. They don't take no for an answer, and it's that kind of passion that you got to take from the playing field and the ice that you spent your whole life on and put it into a new direction, because you know, that athlete, they're all passionate, driven, and in everything that, you know, goes on in business or in the community, everyone's dying for those people. And I think if you could just turn that passion and that drivenness into a new way, you'd be a great asset.